I think I was the first person to have a business card that said I was a social media strategist. And by 2012, that was about as valuable as being a fax repairman. Were announced, which are sensors, which are really fulfilling the dream of the Internet of all things, and are going in everywhere. And as you walk down a street or into a store or into a parking garage, they're going to be talking with your mobile device. And guess what they're going to be talking about you about? They're going to be talking about you. They're going to be talking about what your buying patterns are, what route you take through the store, where you stopped, where you didn't stop. Now, maybe they're going to be doing this without your knowledge or caring. More likely, or hopefully, they'll be doing it because you've opted into a loyalty program that you would have opted in. What you may want or what you may need depends upon what time of day it is, what day of week it is, what month it is, what season it is. It depends on the weather. And there are technologies that are making all this possible to gather as data, I'm sure. But what is important is that social media, which was so radical and dramatic 10 years ago, is now a mature platform. There is no forward-thinking company that doesn't have social media as part of their strategy. And the disruptive nature that Robert and I so loved about social media is pretty much a thing of the past. We don't have people working for big companies who are speaking off topic the way we did 10 years ago. We don't have people who are putting human faces on corporations because they were like Frank Elias at Comcast, someone who really, really cared about whether customers are having a good experience or not. But what is important is whether the enterprises are joining into the conversation. People are. And in the enterprise, they're spending billions of dollars to shape their brands and shape your perceptions through advertising, marketing, and PR. And in fact, the people talking to each other are causing this to go up at an exponential curve that no company in the world can keep up with. And no entrenched culture built in times gone by is able to adapt as fast as maybe they should. This game is, and what is really more important, though, is the little tiny spoonfuls of the data. The stuff that can be extracted in a millisecond, three one-thousandths of a second. They can extract what they need to know about you, again, whoever they is. And all this data is being collected all over the place in an enormous speed. And none of us in this room can live without the stuff. When you're driving around and you type one-handed when there's no policeman around, park into a Google search, and Google knows whether you're looking for a place to put your car or a place for your kids to play. That's very valuable. But you just gave them something. You gave them a little data about yourself, a little tiny piece of data to see what companies have on us. And we need the right to say, no, that's right. That's wrong. Change that. That's not correct. The same way you can when you get a credit report and there's a ding on there that isn't fair, or you have a side to the story that can change your ranking. What we also have the right to do is a thing we want to do the most, and that's every now and then turn the damn things off. And we have no way of doing that. Send out messages. It is financially good for your company because the return on investment is quite good on this. But you're pissing off 98% of the people you want to sell to. And you're doing it all the time, and your competitor's doing it all the time, and the other company's doing it all the time. And you're trying harder and harder because everyone's doing it, and it's like hollering in a hurricane. Nobody can be heard, so they're going to do it more. It's not just online. You're driving down the road to work, and all of a sudden you hear an ad that begins with the beeping of a horn and a screeching of brakes, and you look around because you think it's happening. It just doesn't stop. The last time I was in Las Vegas, I had to go to the bathroom. I closed the door, and there was a digital ad on the back of the stall in Caesar's Palace. And no off button. And it was targeted to men who are in Vegas. that many, but how many of you are under age 32? Okay. You are the millennials. You are the millennials. You are different than the rest of us because you grew up comfortable with all this digital stuff. You also, unlike my generation, we didn't trust anyone, especially anyone in authority. You'll trust anyone as long as the facts are clear. You're more willing to give somebody a break. But you also, and researchers are telling me, are more unforgiving when the trust contract is broken. And when companies break a contract of trust, the word spreads through social media, through the reviews, through the fan, and what used to happen in the dark and stayed in the dark no longer stays in the dark. There is a light on them like there is a light on us. And as uncomfortable as we are with this, the good news is they ought to be uncomfortable with the lights that are going on them.